got the intro down. Okay, Max, stop looking at your computer screen. Stop laughing. Stone cold it. You're failing already.
Smiling is not...
Dude.
I can smile.
Okay, cool. You're good. All right, anyway, here we go. Restart it. Okay, anyway. All right, welcome back to the Enigma Exchange. This is episode 1. We're going to be... Our general discussion is going to be Flat Earth today, but on my right is going to be Max. On my left is going to be Cameron and Millie as our co-star. We're actually...
she's the real star.
Yeah, sorry, real star. We're actually missing one. We're actually missing Kyle today. He went on a trip, but thankfully he did a lot of the research, so I didn't have to do any of that, so I get to sit back for this one. So, but we're going to be talking about like what flat Earth is in like the conspiracy, and then we're going to go about into like the past of it, and then the current presence, and then how it's currently affecting people, and then that should be the topics for today, I believe, if I'm correct.
That's about what we were thinking.
Alright. So, I guess I'll do the generalization of what flat Earth is. So, right now, Earth is a globe, but flat Earth believes that it is a flat disk in space, and that North Pole is in the middle, and then the South Pole lines the outside of it, so it's like stretched out around it. And then there's something about like gravity. I think you had the better idea of what gravity was like.
So basically it just kind of states to have the theory of gravity be part of it is just that the entire Earth is moving upward at a constant speed, which is what is forcing stuff back to the ground, hence gravity.
Okay. And then we are like a flat disk in space, and so everything like orbits around us, as in like we're the center of the universe or something like that. So that is like the
Very
theory
brief,
behind flat Earth.
There's a lot more as to like how the tropics of stuff fit in, and like how the sun and moon orbit each other kind of around the Earth.
Well, we're just kind of generalizing it right now.
Yeah.
And that's what flat earthers believe is what the Earth is like. Current day flat earthers.
Yeah. So that's kind of what it is. So we can hop into like the past presence of it and get some of that down. So who's taking that one?
I guess I will.
I don't know how to
So-
say Alexandra Batuti.
What?
I don't know, whatever that name is.
What?
Alex said.
How about you just stop talking and like the one who actually knows what you're
You
talking about?
zone out and think about He-Man or something, please.
Okay.
So,
No, go ahead, Gamer. Go ahead.
essentially, what's really interesting about flat Earth from a today perspective is that this was an old Earth theory. So, we had zero idea of what the Earth actually was, because there's no way to even prove that it was flat or globe, so we just all kind of assumed it was flat. And, yeah. And then later, we developed enough science to disprove it.
How?
Well,
Well, how did we develop enough science to disprove it, though? Because what was the science behind that?
so we discovered during our research that in 3rd century BC, there's a bunch of Greek philosophers that were kind of experimenting with the Earth's surface, and one of them figured out that it might have a circumference. And so from that, a couple years later, there's a guy named Anaxagoras, and he
Sorry,
determined...
can I get the name again?
Anaxagoras.
Okay, I think I recognize it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I used to be friends with him.
Yeah.
Yeah, wait,
He's a
is
cool
he
dude.
the guy from Math Class? Math 251?
No, he was in Spanish.
Oh.
Okay. And he determined from the lunar eclipse that he saw the Earth's shape on the moon, which was a...
And when
Globe.
did you... Maybe you said this, I just totally missed it. When is this?
It was around 3rd century BC
Okay.
in Greece.
Oh,
and
in Greece. Okay.
from that, he determined that it was a globe, because if it was flat, then he'd probably see a more oval shape on the surface of the moon. And then from there, technology just steadily grew and grew more advanced, and we eventually determined that's a globe until the last 20 years or so.
where flat earthers made a comeback.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which bridges us into our present history.
I know, yeah, ever since, like, I think you said 2018, there was the documentary.
Yeah.
Yeah, on Netflix.
Behind the Curve.
Behind the Curve.
Well, no, that's not the one on Netflix, is it?
Mm-hmm.
It was Behind the Curve?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. I just know it as a flat earth documentary. That's
Yeah.
all I know it as.
Yeah, it's Behind the Curve.
I think basically just with the but with the growing up with the internet and all that is definitely where it definitely came back into prevalence. People mostly just mistrusting the government and thinking that everything about that's all a lie. Yes, thank you. I honestly don't remember what we talked about last time. I'm drawing massive blanks.
Well, so
Because we talked... Honestly...
if we're talking about present history, that documentary came out, and a bunch of people... since the internet's a thing, people were spreading it, and a lot of people jumped on and watched it, and that introduced them to a world of flat Earth and conspiracy theories in general that they wouldn't normally even know about. And when that happened, a bunch of people kind of got onto the theory, like, okay, this might be real, because...
Yeah, the small, feeble brains went, it makes sense, guys.
Yeah, and it's crazy, because there's a bunch of evidence disproving it, but here we are. And there's actually a survey we found.
Well, wait, hold on. Wasn't there a flat Earth experiment where they actually like disproved their own theory? It was with like the lights and the...
Yeah, it was in that documentary.
There? Enrique, how high is your light?
17 feet.
I mean, it's as... we don't see you, Enrique. Lift up your light way above your head. Interesting. Interesting there. That's interesting.
Is that in the documentary? Okay.
And
I
yeah,
haven't seen it, so I wouldn't know, but...
they disprove it a lot. But they keep doing
No
it.
kidding.
Yeah.
Really?
Surprisingly. But there was a survey done a couple of years ago. A government-funded survey. What's what called? Okay.
Fucking He-Man over here.
Yeah, He-Man.
No, this one's actually like relevant to flat Earth.
Okay. Well, there's 8,000 people survey, and what's crazy is that out of 8,000 people, 1 in 6 said they aren't entirely certain the Earth is round, which I find to be pretty insane.
Out of 8,000.
Out of 8,000, 1 in 6 believe that they're not entirely sure. Which, that's a direct quotation from the article, so who knows.
Does it in the article say where that information was all gathered? Was it from international, or was it, like, specifically just America, or was it...
I don't know, but I can flash it on the screen right now.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Crazy how editing works.
Power of magic.
Okay.
What I was going to say, what I was trying to think of earlier, is have you guys... I can't remember exactly where this clip comes from, but it's like they're talking about how like ships will like disappear over the horizon. And this woman gets on and she starts talking about, have you ever heard the term water mountains?
I think so?
They talk about...
Hey, hold on. We're not gonna skip the water mountains.
I'm coming back to it here.
Okay.
It's just they talk about how water mountains...
Aren't those called waves?
It's just called waves. But they think that there's like actual like mountain tall waves that is what the boats are disappearing.
And they're just stationary.
Yeah. And it's just this great clip where she's just like, it's the water mountains! That is what they're disappearing behind. It's like, what?
It's crazy, because in that my favorite line from that documentary, I can't quote it exactly, but they got a scientist on, or a psychologist or something, and he explained that when people try and justify these theories, they'll first, try and find things that prove that it exists, and then they'll get honed in on one specific thing. They'll get tunnel vision. And instead what they should be doing is looking at stuff that disproves it.
Yeah.
And so but they don't do that. So like you were saying, they'll make up like, okay,
It's
water mountains.
just called ignorant knowledge.
Yeah, they're getting tunnel vision. And if they take one look outside of their bubble, they'll realize like maybe this isn't right.
No, just
But-
everyone else is wrong.
yeah.
Pictures about space so that they can whore out themselves and earn 20 billion with a B dollars a year to make space pictures for us to go ooh ah to have a international space station in a huge pool in Houston, and that huge pool is where they conduct all of their spacewalks with a blue screen where they can put a globe Earth behind the International Space Station as they do all their work, and bubbles come out of their helmets.
Well, thank you guys for listening to today's episode of this podcast. We had fun making it today. Sadly, Kyle wasn't able to join us, but we also are starting this new wheel that we thought would be kind of cool, where we kind of figure out what we're going to talk about next week, and you guys get a little sneak peek. So without further ado, let's spin the wheel and see what we're doing next week. Let's see. We got me up here. Okay. This one's a pretty broad topic, and you were asking about it earlier.
We
but
can't see it.
I know, I was about to tell you. It landed on the missing 411 cases, which, do you know what those?
Yeah, I know
you
what
know
those
of
are.
I don't know. So this will be exciting for me to learn about next podcast.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So, peace. Have a good night.
Later.
Bye bye.